I'm super excited to get to talk to Jeannie Stith today, who is the founder and CEO of one of my favorite companies out there, Color Guru. Jeannie, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much, Lauren. I am so excited to be here with you.
We talk a lot on my platform about health and wellness and beauty and anti-aging strategies. And I think this is one of those low-hanging fruits when it comes to what you wear, looking your best, and finding colors that don't age you. So let's talk a little bit about that. How does your service work, and how do you guys go about letting people know the colors that look best on them don't age them, flatter them?
Yes. Well, it's amazing the difference a color can make, and people don't realize it until they see the side-by-side comparisons that we show them. So basically, people submit photos to us, they answer some questions in a questionnaire, and then we put their photos through a bunch of color tests. And we also have our analysis team look at their photos and decide what is the color palette that is going to make them glow. And it's really amazing because when we send the report back to them, we have put their photos in these side-by-side color tests so they can see the difference between, silver versus gold, for example, if we're talking about metallics, or like peaches versus like warm peaches versus cool pinks. And it's such a massive difference, but people have never taken the time to look at it side by side, or they've never had the opportunity to. And once they do, they're just blown away because the wrong colors can wash you out, drag you down, make you look tired, older, even ill. Like there's one woman who emailed me and she's like, every time I wear this top, people would be like, are you feeling okay? And it's just like a terrible color for her. You know what I mean? It does not highlight her natural beauty. It drags her down. It makes her look like not good, right? So and then the right colors can sort of give you a natural glow, like the right color you put it on and it just warms up your skin tone or like really highlights your eye color. We look at hair, skin, and eye color. We take them all into account. And it's not just the color. Like some people are like, oh, I can't wear this certain color. I hear a lot of people saying they can't wear yellow. There's actually a yellow that looks amazing on everyone. So it's just about finding like the exact right shade of that color for your coloring in particular. And so once you know your best colors, it's sort of like, why would you want to wear anything else?
It's so true. And it helps so much with shopping. And kind of speaking of the side by sides. So I am let me make sure I'm saying this correctly. Okay. A sunlit summer. So
Yes.
orange was not one of my better colors.
No.
And I agree with that. I didn't initially, but
Yeah.
of course I bought this dress like 6 months, of course, before I had my colors done, but it's okay. But you can just tell. Now this is one of my colors.
Love that
This
color for
greenish
you.
color. But then black was not one of mine.
Yeah.
And you can just tell it's just it's not a great color on me. Now,
Yeah, and the thing is you can wear charcoal gray really well because you look better in a muted color. Black is a
yeah,
clear color. It's very heavy. It's very dark. Black has been sold to us as a universal color, and it's not one.
no,
It's very actually, it's a very hard color to wear. And there are some people who wear it very, very well. But for example, for you, it's like you can go as dark with the gray as you want. Dark, dark charcoal gray still looks great on you. Once it gets into black and it's that clear, it looks like very blocky on you.
mhm. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it does. And then this, I think, is one of my signature colors. And
Yeah.
again, you can just tell when you put that next to your face. I mean,
Gorgeous.
that's how dramatic it
Yeah.
is, in my opinion. Once you learn your colors, you shop less, you shop in a way that's more targeted. And I spent 25 years as a television news anchor. I was on TV all day, every day, and no one had ever taught me this.
Wow.
And it would
Yeah.
have been so valuable, so helpful for all those years. But it's remarkable to me. And I think that as we get into our 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, it's even more valuable because youth accommodates for so much, right?
Yes. Right. I know. It's so true. That's probably the number one thing we hear from people is they say, I wish I would have done this
Mhm.
sooner, because it is for most people a one-time investment that they'll use for the rest of their lives. Now, if you make a super dramatic hair color change. That's the only time that your colors can really shift. But they don't always. Even some people go through a dramatic hair color change and their colors remain the same. But sometimes we see people who go through a hair color shift and their colors do change. But for the vast majority of people, I would say 75% of people, they, even through natural hair color changes, their colors are their colors for their whole life. And so if you can get this done when you're younger, I mean, you can save yourself so many color mistakes and save yourself so much money too, because, you know, people look in their closets and they pull something out and they put it on and they're like, ugh, I don't know what it is about this, but I don't like it, you know, and they don't know it's just a color issue.
Right.
And that can just be solved by understanding what colors are best for you. And you don't have to, you know, wonder anymore or guess. I talk to a lot of people who are like, I feel like I'm always guessing, like, is this color good for me or not? So
yeah, it makes such a huge difference. And with shopping, it saves you money, dramatic money, in my opinion. And also,
yeah,
when you start to consider the waste that is associated with the fashion industry and
yes.
the pollution associated with the fashion industry, it's just really important that every consumer is just educated and armed when we walk into a store to be targeted.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. Nobody actually teaches us how to shop.
Mm-mm.
Almost everybody shops by impulse buying. Like you kind of see how you feel in the moment. Do you like this thing? Maybe seems like a really good price, like a deal, all these things, right? And it is so beneficial for both time savings and money and waste to just make the right choice the first time. It's wonderful to make the right choice the first time and buy something you're going to be happy with for years to come.
For years to come, I think is the big phrase there,
Yes.
because we have all this quick fashion in this day and age, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you can go out and buy a shirt that looks good for $19.
Yeah.
Is that going to last? Maybe. It may. Is it going to stand you know, seasonal changes and fashion changes? That starts to factor into things, because a lot of times this quick fashion is very trendy.
Totally. I know I have a saying, trends are not your friends. I really, I really am a big believer in putting a little time in upfront and figuring out what works for you in particular. So you can break down shopping really easily. You don't need the trends to tell you what to buy. You
Mhm.
can break down shopping into three things: color, shape, personal style. That's it. Once you get a handle on those three things, just even a basic knowledge of those three things, you can start to buy things that you're going to be happy with for years to come. You know, the color, in my opinion, should always come first, just because it's the first thing people see when they see you. And also, it's the most efficient way to shop. So when you walk into a store, you cannot lift up every item and look at the style of it and the shape of it, right? But you can scan a store for colors. You can walk into a store and only look at the colors that are your best colors. You eliminate 75% of the store probably, which is a beautiful freeing thing, because you're like, I know what to focus on because I know what works for me. And then you can, you know, lift up the garments and sort of assess, like, okay, is this like a shape I like on my body type? And is this my style? But then you can only go into the dressing room with things that are your color, shape, and style. And that is a total game changer in terms of shopping. It just eliminates the decision fatigue.
And the decision fatigue is huge in our world today. So if
Yes.
you don't have it in your closet, and that's a point of stress for a lot of women.
Yeah.
What do I wear? What fits today?
Yes.
You can just take out the color aspect of that and you go, you know what? Brown is not a good color on me. It's
Yeah.
just not.
Yeah.
It does eliminate so much of that. And the other thing, I've had people ask me, because literally so many people I know for Christmas got each other the service from you guys, the color guru analysis.
Yeah.
And so many people said, oh my gosh, black's not my color, and I have all this black in my wardrobe. What do I do? Do I throw it away? Do I keep? And I said, I still wear black sometimes, especially to the gym or, someplace like
Sure.
that, if I'm cleaning up after the kids or what have you. Because black does at least show stains less obviously than some colors.
That
So
is true.
there's that benefit there. But I'm very careful and cognizant of how I do my makeup. when I am wearing it. But you guys send makeup colors as well.
Yes.
And I honestly, this may have been a bigger game changer for me.
Wow.
I think so. I, for whatever reason, always gravitated towards sort of reddy brown type colors.
Interesting.
And that's not my scheme at
Yeah.
all. And so
Yeah.
I noticed, and there would be times in pictures and I would go, my bronzer looks dirty.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the look I'm going for here, unintentionally. But so I think coupled with, okay, yeah, maybe not everything today you have in your closet is your color, but you can tone your makeup properly, and that helps. Do you agree
It
with that?
helps dramatically. Yes, I totally agree with that. And also just to comment on that people do kind of freak out sometimes when black isn't in their palette. Black is not in my ideal palette either. And what I like to remind people is, like you said, you just have to be a little more like careful. And the most important place to wear your colors is up against your face. So I tell people, like, you don't have to get rid of your black pants. Like, they're not up against your face, reflecting on your face, right? A lot of people, when they're wearing black and black is not a great color for them, it drains the color from their face.
Mm-hmm.
But that means you keep your black shoes, your black pants, your black bags, your black belts. There's lots of things you can keep. And you can even work with a black top or a black dress if you consider like jewelry in your colors, like a big, like a statement necklace or like a scarf or something like that. So there are ways to work with things that a lot of people think that I would encourage just like tearing all the colors that aren't your colors out of your closet. And I don't. I'm like, this is after you get an analysis, it's a great time to go through your closet and get rid of things that you never liked that much anyway. And now they are also not your colors. But if there's something that would make you really sad to get rid of it, keep it. Because what tends to happen is as people try the colors on their color card over the next few months, they find that those things that they sort of thought they loved fall away naturally, like over time, as they replace them with something that's maybe a bit of a better color for them. So it is a process and a transition that I think that works best if you take your time with it.
Totally agree. And you mentioned the scarves, and in the winter, we're in Houston. It's not very cold here, but we do have some days where I want to be warmer. And so, yeah, I do have some black sweaters that I still like, that are comfortable, that feel good in. But I found on Amazon, they had some really inexpensive, beautifully colored scarves. I like kind of the infinity ones that are kind of cottony and jersey material. And they're casual, but it gives you a little pop of color. And actually, my friend who introduced me to your service, her name's Emily, she said, when you wear your colors, it's like walking around with a filter on.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
It's true.
True, though. It's true.
That is so true.
Uh-huh.
And, I really look at this from the standpoint of you feel better when you look good.
Yeah.
When we pass by a mirror and we go, oh gosh, it just does something to you. And that's all humans, man, woman,
100%.
all of it.
100%.
So this is just a way to sort of elevate and to feel good in your skin every day.
Yeah, exactly. I love that because we've all had the experience of walking into a party or a meeting or even just like around in our own home and looking in the mirror and going like, oh, I am not loving what I'm seeing right now, right? It doesn't feel good. And then we've all had the experience of like feeling dynamite, and the way that changes our energy is massive. It changes our energy. It changes what we are attracting. It changes, how people feel when they're interacting with us. It changes how we feel in our own skin. Even if you're just home alone, it's worth doing it for yourself just to feel good, And I think also one of the big things I love about it is we are working with your natural beauty. And this is big for me because I feel like there's so much out there that's like about changing. And like, I have nothing against changing your looks in a way if you want to, nothing against that whatsoever. However, I love when we also can sort of like illuminate and highlight what you have. And that's what this is all about. It's about working with what you were sort of given, and everybody has a version of beauty. Like some are brighter, some are more muted, but we're looking at these pictures of people every day. And like my analysts are like, I can't believe how beautiful everybody is. And we see such a variety of different types of beauty, and the color palette we give you is made to support you. It's not about looking at the color. It's about looking at your beauty and having the color support that, just like good makeup supports your beauty. You know what I mean? It doesn't overtake, it highlights, your unique colors, your unique shapes, things like that. So I love that about it.
And the other thing that I really love about Color Guru is that it's affordable.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of services, they'll come to your house and they'll put the drapes on you, but
Yeah.
in my opinion, that's not affordable.
Yeah.
And so you guys have provided this wonderful service that's affordable, that's easy, that comes directly to you, that comes with the color cards for when you want to shop. You can literally take these in your purse, which I do recommend, by the way. Same
Yeah.
thing with the makeup, especially when you're just getting used to it. And I'm going to be honest, with the makeup, there were some pieces. I had some blush that had to go in the trash.
Yeah.
I kind of figured out that is not doing me any favors.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did do some cleaning out with the makeup, and it
Mhm.
was necessary, and it's been, again, just a game changer. But I'm thankful that you guys have made this so affordable to people.
That was one of my goals because I actually started going to people's homes. That's how I started this. Color Guru started with color parties in people's homes, and I was the only one doing them. I didn't train anybody at that point. I was just starting out, and then I just thought it wasn't. First of all, it wasn't sustainable for me personally. Like I had little kids at the time, and people did not want to have color parties on a Tuesday morning. They wanted to have them on Saturdays and Sundays and Fridays, and so my family time was like going away, but I was really passionate about this business. And so I thought we have to make this virtual and we have to make this accessible to people where they can afford it and do this. And we have to make it easy and quick. And so that was one of our goals. And I'm so glad that, I feel like we really achieved that goal. And then we have just listened to our customers over the years. We've been in business online now for 7 years. And the customers were the ones that said, like, what about the makeup? Because we were doing clothing colors only. And they were like, we need help with our makeup. They were like, we need help with our hair color. So we have 4 master colorists who are hairstylists who work in salons who also meet with our clients and talk to them about their hair color. And we have also created Your Color Closet, which is a virtual closet of clothes that you can shop in only in your colors. And it's a monthly membership and it's extremely affordable. We were just like, we're going to bring in all these things from all over the internet so that you don't even have to like try to find your colors online. We're going to bring all these things into a closet that you can shop in. And that has been a huge success too. So it's been really exciting, but we've just listened to what our clients have asked for, basically.
I also want to talk a little bit about prints because I think those can be scary for a lot of us. Like you go buy them and then you get them in your closet and you're like, oh, wow, that's really bold. Should I have done that? So when it comes to your color palette, how do prints factor into that?
Yeah, I love that question. I mean, I'm a big fan of prints. As you can see, I'm wearing like one of my favorite print dresses today. But I always the first thing I tell people is very simple rule of thumb. Keep your print. It should be like 75% or more the colors on your card. Because, if something has a little dash of something that isn't on your card, but still overall the garment is clearly your colors from your palette, it's great. And what that does is often the problem people have with prints is then getting them to go with everything else in your closet. But the color card is a family of colors that is designed to work together. And so people find that once they start dressing in their colors, their closet coordinates a whole lot better. Like every time you pull out a pair of pants, you've got multiple tops that match it. And when you wear a dress, you have jewelry that matches it and shoes that match it and a jacket that matches it and a bag, because It's a family of colors that's made to work together. And so that's the big benefit of really staying in your color palette. Not only are they the colors you look best in, but they coordinate really well together. So prints fit right in there as long as you're sticking with, the colors on your palette. And again, it just needs to be sort of the majority of the garment needs to be in your colors. It keeps it looking good on you, and then it keeps it coordinating with the other things in your closet as well.
Yeah, very good point. Okay, then I want to talk about classic pieces because, we all have those kind of staples in our closet. And some of those maybe are in your color scheme from years ago, or maybe they're not. But kind of
Yeah.
what's your take on those classic staple pieces and keeping those refreshed?
So I have kind of an unusual take on staple pieces, only because I think staple pieces really vary depending on your lifestyle and your taste. And so when I see, for example, like if I see, you could find anywhere like a list of staple pieces with like photo examples. And like almost always you're going to see things like a white button down, a black blazer, like, these kind of classic things, which some people are going to love those and those totally work for them. I don't wear button downs. I'm curvy and they always pop up. I've never found a button down that works on me. Like it's always too tight if it goes towards my hips. I kind of am like an hourglass shape. So like it's always popping open at the chest, and so like a button down doesn't work on me. I don't wear black and I don't wear blazers in my life. You know what I mean? So I feel like while we could use those kind of recommendations to get ideas, people really, again, just need to do a little work up front and really say, like, what do I actually need in my life? If you're a stay-at-home mom, you don't actually need a suit, probably, right? And so, what do I actually need in my life that are my staple pieces? And then what are the neutrals in my color palette? And then I would just go with that, like make it that simple. Like if my staple pieces need to be yoga pants and t-shirts, that's great. Like get some neutral yoga pants that will go with all the fun colors on your color card. And those can be your basics. But it's very different if you're like a CEO working in an office, or if you have to show up in front of a class every day, if you're a teacher or whatever. So I think those one size fits all sort of like classic pieces they're tricky. They're tricky.
I
And
think you're
I'm sorry,
so
my dog
right.
is like snoring in the background right now, and I'm
That's okay.
really hoping it's not coming through.
No, no, we can't hear him at all. I hope
Okay,
he's
good,
comfortable. He or she. Yes.
good.
That is such a good point about lifestyle.
Yeah.
And maybe you want to like write that on your card in Sharpie too, because
Yeah.
I know transitioning from being at a TV station every day to now working from home, being way more involved with my kids' sports and schooling and activities, I don't wear high heels anymore. I have a
Right.
closet full of high heels. In fact, I'm having the Real come get some here in the next week or two and selling as many as I can. And honestly, some are probably not in good enough shape to sell. I mean, it's probably better to trash those at this point. I prefer only to sell or give away things that I would wear. And so if I'm thinking it's a little ratty, probably better to be thrown away. But that is such a huge key component to what we buy, and you have to keep that in mind when you're shopping. And like you're talking about, if it's an impulse purchase and you go, oh my goodness, I just love those 6-inch heels, but I work out in the morning and then I'm with my kids, when are you really going to wear them? you know
Exactly.
so that's a
Yeah.
good point. That's a very good point about the lifestyle.
I have to say, like, I think we do shop, and I'm so guilty of it too. Like, sometimes we just shop for like our fantasy lives, not our real lives. I mean, I bought this huge beach hat. I'll never forget this. I bought this huge beach hat because I like, I just saw these pictures of these women on the beaches in these huge beach hats. And it looks so cool. And I bought one. And when I actually went to like take a beach trip, I couldn't fit the thing in my suitcase. Like, it wouldn't fit in my suitcase. I was like, how am I going to take this to the beach even? Like it wasn't a practical choice for me. I was like, I guess I need a much smaller beach hat. Yeah. But we kind of do tend to do that. So it is good to think like, what do I really actually need? And then invest in those things, so that you have things that you really like for that fit your lifestyle.
Yeah, and not being so tempted by the quick fast
Yeah.
fashion that And look, it's alluring to all of us. I mean, we've all fallen into that where we're like, well, it's only $19 and I can wear it this season. And maybe you do wear it this season,
Yeah,
but then are you really going to wear it lifelong type thing? That in other
exactly.
words, wear it until it wears out. That's what I kind of consider. Okay, you have worn that, you have used that. That was money well spent.
Exactly. And I would really encourage people to go that direction too, because when you think about the things in your closet that are your absolute favorite things that you would like a great exercise is like you could go into your closet and it's like, okay, if your house is on fire, you could only grab 5 things. Which things would you grab? And I bet it's never that $19 shirt. It's the things that you splurged on. It's the things where you were like, gosh, I really, really love that. And then it was like a bit, maybe like beyond what you would typically spend, but then you've worn it so many times, every time it makes you happy. Like those are the pieces that most people will grab. And when you start to kind of like transition to having a closet that's more of those pieces than like the quick trendy pieces, most people are much happier for longer with their clothes.
No question. No question. And, I remember when I was first a reporter in Waco, Texas, and my first job, I had a black suit and a yellow suit. That was it. And I would just kind of mix and match best I could. I think I had some sweater sets that went over the black pants. I literally, those were the only clothes that I would wear to work. And I just kind of had to be creative and vary it up. And so at one point I was doing a live shot and I bent over to like get the microphone or something and my pants split. So now I'm down to one suit. And I had to finish working with my pants split. And so I finished. And the next day, of course, before work, I go to this nice boutique to buy some new pants. And I spent, like, they were beautiful. I remember just being like, oh my gosh, I can wear them with heels, with flats. Like, I really thought this through, but they were very expensive at the time for me.
Mhm.
And I bought them and I walked out and like my heart's pounding. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have the money for this. What did I just do? But I wore those things until I had to throw them away. I bet I wore them for 10 years. I
Yeah.
mean, and so it was such a valuable lesson to me that,
Yes.
okay, I thought these through. I could wear them with literally anywhere. I mean, they were that type pant. They were kind of a wider leg pant. In fact, if I still had them, I'd wear them. I mean, they were great.
Wow.
They're
That's
just
saying something.
beautiful, elegant pants. And of course, they got gross and nasty and worn out. But I did. I learned such a valuable lesson in that, okay, spending some more than maybe what you're comfortable with at the time. But if you're going to wear them for years and years and years, it's still a
Yes.
good purchase.
It's still a good purchase. It's actually a better purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so true. Yeah.
But it's just, it makes such a big difference. But okay, I do want to talk a little bit more about makeup. And I think another problem that a lot of us have when it comes to makeup is that we feel like, especially nowadays, you go on social media and I feel like so many of the girls, especially the young girls, I mean, they've got like 19 colors of eyeshadow on. And
Yes.
then it's, we've got the bronzer and then we've got this and we've got the highlighter and we've got the highlighter down the nose. And now I don't know if there's a trend, they put like blush on their nose. Like,
Yes, I've seen that. Blush on
I-
the tip of the
yeah,
nose.
I don't
Yeah,
think
that's
I
the
can work that, but or we're doing everything's very shiny now and dewy and whatever. At 45, I'm past dewy. I'm just gonna let you know. But I think when you have sort of this outline to go with on your makeup, you're less susceptible to, sure, I'm gonna highlight here and here. You can be more focused and targeted and understand what makeup looks classically beautiful on you.
Yes. Again, it's like just like the trends with clothes, there are trends with makeup. And
Mhm.
if we try to kind of like constantly keep up with the trends in makeup, it just gets too complicated. I think a great thing to invest in actually, if you're able to, is like hire a local makeup artist, somebody who does like makeups for weddings in your area or something like that, and have her come to your house for an hour and teach you some makeup that looks amazing on you, and then use that every day. Like it doesn't have to be,
Right.
wedding type makeup, but like um, just getting somebody who knows what colors to put on you,
Mhm.
what products are going to look good on you. One of my friends who's a makeup artist is like, there's so much actually that has to do with texture for certain skin types that is really helpful. And I'm telling you that hour will, it probably won't cost that much money. I did it a few years ago and it was like the best money I spent. Like I didn't wonder anymore. I bought the products she told me to buy and they worked for years. And I didn't have to like worry about trying all the new things or like ordering a million things. I think I saved so much money. I paid for that consultation probably 5 times over with like saved money with like nighttime Instagram makeup purchases. You know what I mean? Because I see this makeup artist on Instagram and she's recommending these 5 products and I get them and like one of them actually works for me. You know what I mean? So it's like when you can just invest in some professional help, it's really, really worth it.
Oh, I think that's such a great idea. And I'll be honest, I hire a makeup artist every year or two to go, what do I need to freshen up?
I
'Cause,
love that.
I get stuck in, okay,
Sure.
too much shadow here, too little the and so what how do I freshen it up? I don't want to be, super cutting edge. I want more of a
Yes.
classically elegant look.
Yes.
But what do I need to do? Because our skin changes,
Totally.
our eyes change, things change, especially
Mhm.
as we're maturing. So,
Oh,
I notice around here, I'm like, okay, how do I make this not clump kind of thing?
no, how do I know I'm 47 and I'm like, what's going on with I used to be able to just like put on some concealer and now I'm like, yeah, that's not working anymore.
Yes. Primer helps.
Yes.
I will say, in my opinion, primer has helped immensely. It's
Yes.
like taken at least 3 to 5 years off me, I feel like, so
The primer is
yes,
key,
yes.
key. Yeah.
Well, just those kind of things, staying on top of, the primer trends or things like that. Again, I
Mhm.
don't think you have to be and I think a lot of people don't want to be trendy. They just wanna look their best. They wanna look natural and beautiful and lovely. And
Yes.
not maybe they're not into the fake eyelashes or the tattooed eyebrows or, not everybody's into all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so again, that's just why I love your service because, I look to Grace Kelly and she was so classically beautiful and elegant. And I think that that's kind of the ideal that I mean, obviously we have different kind of trends and ideals now, but that overall level of just elegance
Yes.
that I aspire to, and I think a lot of women still do. And so this is a service that brings that to you, that elegance to you, your color palette, your makeup colors, your lipstick colors, everything. It decodes all of it for you. That's why it's life changing.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. I
Yes,
believe that too. I
it is.
mean, honestly, I created the service because it was life-changing for me, and I was like, I have to share this." Like, it transformed my closet, transformed the way I looked in clothes. Once I understood the colors on my face, I was like, "Oh my gosh," like, it made such a difference, just everything, and then just on a daily basis, I felt more confident. I liked the way I looked. I mean, just even that is, like, worth its weight in gold.
Yes. It's so
Yeah.
important. It's so important. Well, Jeannie, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, her website is yourcolorguru.com. You can use my code Lauren10 and save 10% off. This is valuable, yet affordable, and it will literally change the way you shop from this day moving forward. Jeannie, thank you again.
Thank you so much. It was great to be here.